Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of knowledge sharing. Before we continue, I'd like us to like and follow our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comments, and share our video for more interesting topics. Today we are looking at this question. Is from a topic called sort, and we are going to treat everything concerning sort under rationalization. It says rationalize the following denominators, and this question is coming from GCSE mathematics test question. So it says we should rationalize the following denominators. Number 1, 3 all over 2 minus root 5. The second one says 2 all over 1 plus root 3. So in this case, before we continue, let us look at difference of two squares. So we have here solution. So we recall that each time we have a to the power of 2 minus b to the power of 2 is the same thing as a plus b into a minus b. So for difference of two squares, this is what we have. Okay, for us to arrive at this answer is, if we expand this, that means a plus b into a minus b is the same thing as a times a equals to a squared. Then a times minus b is minus ab. Then we have deal with is having to rationalize the denominator, meaning that we will want to multiply the conjugate of this denominator by the numerator and the denominator. So all that means is for I, when we have 3 all over 2 minus root 5, so for us to rationalize this, it's going to be multiplied by, okay, it's going to be 3 all over 2 minus root 5 times 2 plus root 5 times 2 plus root 5. So what we are doing now is to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. What do we mean by a conjugate? A conjugate means that when we have a plus b, the conjugate of this a plus b equals to a minus b. So that is what it means. So when you have 2 minus root 5, the conjugate of this 2 minus root 5 equals to 2 plus root 5. So when we have 1 plus root 3, this conjugate equals to 1 minus root 3. So that is what conjugate means. It's for us to change the sign in between the two numbers. If it is plus, we change it to positive. If we change it to negative, if it is negative, we change it to positive. That is what conjugate means. So in this case, we can see that this is in the form. If you remove this multiplication sign, then we put parentheses. So this is in the form of this. So for us to arrive at a quick answer, or for us to arrive at that answer, we can say is the product of difference of two squares. This one can be a and this is b. So all this means is this equals to, we multiply the numerator, which is 3 times 2. We have, it's going to be 3 into 2 plus root 5 all over. Then this one, if you want to present it in this way, it's going to be 2 squared. This is 2 squared minus root 5 squared. So this is what it means. So this is the same thing as, when we multiply, expand this, 3 times 2 will give us 6. Then 3 times root 5 will give us plus 3 root 5 all over. This is 4. Then root 5 squared is 5 minus 5. So this will become 4 minus 5 is going to give us minus 1. So in that case, for us to clear this negative sign or to move this one up, we are going to multiply both sides by minus 1. So when we multiply both sides by minus 1, this will become 6 plus 3 root 5 times minus 1 all over minus 1 times minus 1. This one will cancel each other. Minus 1 times minus 1 is 1. So this one will expand this. So we have minus 1 times 6 will give us minus 6. Then minus 1 times plus 3 root 5 is going to give us minus 3 root 5. So this is the answer to this question. So we have that. So we can clean this. So here, our sort, which is 3 all over 2 minus root 5 equals to minus 6 minus 3 root 5. So this is what we have for us to rationalize this sort. So the second one, we have this. So it's the same thing as having 2 all over 1 plus root 3 times 1 minus root 3 all over times 1 minus root 3, because we are multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of 1 plus root 3. So this is the same thing as 2 into 1 minus root 3 all over. This is the product of difference of 2 square. So we can go ahead to expand it as 1 plus root 3 into 1 minus root 3. So here, this will become, when we expand this, 2 times 1 gives us 2. 2 times minus root 3 will give us minus 2 root 3. Then all over, then we have 1 times 1 will give us 1. Then 1 times minus root 3 will give us minus root 3. Then root 3 times 1 will give us plus root 3. Root 3 times minus root 3 will give us minus 3. So this one will cancel here, and we are now left with 2 minus 2 root 3 all over 1 minus 3 will give us minus 2. So in this case, 2 will cancel here 1, 2 will cancel here, and 2 will cancel here 1. So we are now left with 1 minus root 3 all over minus 1. So here is the same thing as when we divide by minus 1, it's going to be minus 1 plus root 3. So this is the answer to this question. This same thing as minus 1 plus root 3. So this is what we have. So the next one, number 3, says 3 plus root 2 all over 1 minus root 2. So we have this solution. So this is the same thing as 3 plus root 2 times, so we have 1 all over root 2 times 1 plus root 2 times 1 plus root 2, meaning that we are multiplying by the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate of this one is 1 plus root 2. That's why we are multiplying the numerator and the denominator by its conjugate. This is the same thing as 3, because we can always put parentheses in between so that we will understand. Put parentheses in between so that we will understand. So 3 times 1 gives us 3. Then 3 times root 2 will give us plus 3 root 2. Then we have root 2 times 1 will give us plus root 2. Then we have root 2 times root 2 will give us 2. This is all over. This one is different of 2 square, which we have A and B. So this will become 1 squared minus root 2 squared. That is what it means. Or you can go ahead to expand. You will say arrive at the same answer. So this one will become, we collect like terms, 3 plus 2 will give us 5. Then we have 3 root 2 plus root 2. 3 root 2 plus root 2 is the same thing as 3 root 2 plus 1 root 2. So this one plus this one gives us 4. Then this one will bring this one down. So this is what we have. So there will be plus 4 root 2 all over, we have this 1 minus, this is 2. So this is the same thing as 5 plus 4 root 2 all over minus 1. So when we divide all through by minus 1, we will have minus 5 minus 4 root 2. So this is what we have. So that becomes minus 5 minus 4 root 2. So this is what we have from this. So we need to clean this. So now the third one, which is number 4, we have 3 all over 1 plus root 2. By multiplying the numerator and the denominator by its conjugate of the denominator, which is 1 minus root 2. This is multiplied by 1 minus root 2. Then we multiply by 1 minus root 2. So in this case, we need to multiply it out. So in this case, we have 3 into 1 minus root 2 all over. Here we can write it as 1 squared minus root 2 all squared. So this becomes, we have 3 times 1, we have 3. Then we have 3 times minus root 2, we have minus 3 root 2 all over. This is 1 minus 2, and that becomes 3 minus 3 root 2 all over minus 1. And this is the same thing as minus 3 plus 3 root 2, because we are multiplying the numerator and the denominator by minus 1. So when we multiply by minus 1, multiply by minus 1. So minus 1 will go here, 3 is minus 3. Then minus 1 times minus 3 root 2 will give us plus 3 root 2. Then minus 1 times minus 1 give us 1. So this is why we have this. So we have this. We are just rearranging this by moving minus 3 to this other side. And it is either this one or this. So it still gives you the answer, because you have plus 3 root 2 minus 3, the same thing as minus 3 plus 3 root 2. So the next one is number 5. We have 2 all over 1 minus root 5. For us to rationalize this sort, we have to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator, as we said. So we have solution. So we are going to have 2 all over 1 minus root 5. So multiplying by its conjugate will be times 1 plus root 5 times 1 plus root 5. So here we need to expand this. As we used to say, here we can put parentheses, and we can remove here to put parentheses so that we will understand. So this is the same thing as 2 times 1, we have 2. Then 2 times plus root 5, we have plus 2 root 5 all over. This is the same thing as 1 squared minus root 5 squared. So we have this as 2 plus 2 root 5 all over 1 minus 5, because root 5 times root 5 is the same thing as, we have root 5 times root 5 is the same thing as 5. This will become 2 plus 2 root 5 all over 1 minus 5 is minus 4. So in this case, we can divide 4 by 2 and divide all this by 2. So just by dividing all through by 2, we have 2 divide here 2, 2 divide here 1, and 2 divide here 1. So this will become 1 plus 1 root 5. This one will not be there. That's why I put 1 all over minus 2. So in this case, this is what we have for the solution of this. So the next one, number 6, which is 2 plus root 3 all over 1 minus root 3, is the same thing as 2 plus root 3 into 1 plus root 3 all over 1 minus root 3 into 1 plus root 3, because the conjugate of 1 minus root 3 always we multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. And we say that the conjugate of the denominator is to change the sign in between the two numbers. If it is minus, we change it to plus. If it is plus, we change it to minus. So that is why we have this. So expanding this, we have 2 times 1 is 2. Then we have 2 times root 3, we have plus 2 root 3. So we have root 3 times 1, we have plus root 3. Then we have root 3 times root 3, we have plus 3. All over, we can go ahead and say 1 squared minus root 3 squared. Or we can also expand. Expanding that will give us this way. Going to give us 1 times 1 will give us 1. Then 1 times root 3 will give us plus root 3. Then minus root 3 times 1 will give us minus root 3. Minus root 3 times root 3 will give us minus root 3 squared, which is, we have like this, root 3 squared. So here, this one will cancel here, and root 3 squared is the same thing as 3. That's root 3 times root 3 squared. Root 3 times root 3 gives us 3. So when this one cancels here, we have 1 minus 3. So here we have 2, collecting like terms here, 2 plus 3 will give us 5. Then 2 root 3 plus root 3 gives us plus 3 root 3. Why? Because when we have 2 root 3 plus 1 root 3, 1 plus 2 will give us 3. Then root 3 here. That is why we have 3 root 3. So all over, this one cancel here, and we have 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3, we all know that is minus 2. So from here, rationalizing this sort will give us this. So the next one, number 7, says 4 plus root 7 all over 2 plus root 7. For us to rationalize this is to multiply by its conjugate. As we all know, it's going to be 4 plus root 7 all over 2 plus root 7. Then multiply by this conjugate, which is 2 minus root 7. Then into 2 minus root 7. What we do is to change the sign in between the two numbers from positive to negative. It turns to be its conjugate. So multiplying this, we have 4 times 2, we have 8. Then 4 times minus root 7 will give us minus 4 root 7. Then root 7 times 2 will give us plus 2 root 7. Then root 7 times root 7 will give us minus 7, because root 7 times minus root 7 will give us minus 7. So all over, this is the same thing as 2 squared minus root 7 squared, as we said. So now we can collect like terms. 8 minus 7 is 1. Then we have minus 4 plus 2 is going to be minus 2 root 7. Minus 4 root 7 plus 2 remain minus 2 root 7. All over, we have here as 4 minus 7. So this is the same thing as 1 all over 1 minus 2 root 7 all over, we have 4 minus 7 is minus 3. So this is what we have for this. So the next one is 2 plus root 2 all over 5 minus 3 root 2. We have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of this denominator. We have 2 plus root 2 multiplied by 5 plus 3 root 2 all over 5 minus 3 root 2 times 5 plus 3 root 2. We are multiplying by the conjugate of this denominator by changing the sign in between the numbers. So we have this. So expanding this, we have 2 times 5 give us 10. Then 2 times 3 root 2 will give us plus 6 root 2. So root 2 times 5 will give us plus 5 root 2. So root 2 times 3 root 2 will give us plus 3 times 2, because root 2 times root 2 will give us 2, times 3 will give us 2. That is 3 times 2. So all over, we have this as 5 squared minus 3 root 2 squared. So in this case, we have 10. Here, 3 times 2, we have 6. Then 6 plus 10, we have 16. Then plus, we have 6 plus 5 here, we have 11. Then we bring down root 2. So this is all over. Then this is 25 minus, we have this as, we have 3 squared is going to be 9. That is 3 times 3 times root 2 times root 2. This one is 2 and this one is 9. So 9 times 2 will become 18. So that means we have 25 minus 18. I think we understand. Why we have 18 is, it is this way. We have 3 root 2 squared is same thing as 3 root 2 times 3 root 2. So in this case, we have 3 times 3, which is 9. We have root 2 times root 2, which is times 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. That is why we have this 18. So here will become 16 plus 11 root 2 all over 25 minus 18 will give us 7. So it becomes 16 plus 11 root 2 all over 7. So this is the answer of what we have. 16 plus 11 root 2 all over 7. So that is what we have for number 8. So we have number 9. 3 plus root 2 all over 5 plus root 8. So the same thing, we have 3 plus root 2. We multiply by this conjugate, which is 5 minus root 8 all over 5 plus root 8 into 5 minus root 8. So expanding this, we have 3 times 5 give us 15. Then 3 times minus root 8 will give us minus 3 root 8. Then root 2 times 5 will give us plus 5 root 2. Then root 2 times minus root 8 will give us minus root 2 root 8. So all over, we have, can simply write 5 squared minus root 8 squared. So here, this place, let's expand this. We have root 2 times root 8. Root 2 times root 8 is the same thing as root 2 times root 4 times 2. So here will become root 2 times root 4 times root 2. We know that root 4 is 2. So this will become root 2 times 2 times root 2. So root 2 times root 2 is 2. Then times 2 equals to 4. So the whole of this place becomes 4. So that means 15 minus 4 is 11. Then we have minus 3 root 8 plus 5 root 2 is the same thing as, this place will become minus 3 root 4 times 2. Then root 4 times 2 is the same thing as root 4 times root 2. Then we have this as plus 5 root 2. No, we subtracted this one, so this is what we have. So all over here is 25 minus this place is become 8. So here we have root 4 here. Root 4 here is 2. So it will become 11 minus 3 times 2, which is root 4 is 2, times 2 times root 2 will give us times root 2. Then plus 5 root 2. So here, this will become 11 minus 3 times 2 is 6. 6 root 2 plus 5 root 2. So in this case, we can add minus 6 root 2 plus 5 root 2. This is minus 6 plus 5 will give us minus 1. So it becomes 11 minus 1 root 2. So in this case, we cannot write minus 1. So it's going to be 11 minus root 2. So here become 11 minus root 2 all over 25 minus 8 will give us 17. So the answer to this question is 11 minus root 2 all over 17. So that is the answer for number 9. So we have number 10. We need to clean this. Number 10 will give us the same thing. We need to multiply 4 minus root 3 by the conjugate, which is 3 minus 2 root 3 all over, then the denominator is 3 plus, we can expand it out, or we simply write 3 squared minus 2 root 3 all squared. Expanding this, we have 4 times 3, we have 12. Then 4 times minus 2 root 3 will give us minus 8 root 3. So we have minus root 3 times 3 will give us minus 3 root 3. Then we have minus root 3 times minus 2 root 3 will give us plus 2 times 3. For us to have this, you know that, let's expand that out. When we have minus root 3 times minus 2 root 3. So this will become 2. It's the same thing as 1 here times 2, which is 2. Then we have root 3 times root 3, which is times 3. So this becomes 6. That's why we have 2 times 3. That will become 6. All over. Then we bring down this one. It's going to be 9 minus. When we have this, for us to expand this, it's going to be expanding that will give us 2 root 3 times 2 root 3. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we have root 3 times root 3 will give us 3. So this is 4 times, here is 3. So this is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So what we have here is 9 minus 12. The whole of this place equals to 12. So we have 9 minus 12. So the next one is for us to collect like terms. This is same thing as 6. 12 plus 6 will give us 18. Then we have minus 8 minus 3 root 3 will give us minus 11 root 3. All over, this is 9 minus 12 will give us minus 3. So that we cannot cancel anything. So this remains 18 minus 11 root 3 all over minus 3. So that is the answer to this. So the next one is, so number 11 says 5 plus 2, 5 plus root 2 all over 2 minus root 8. So what we need to do, we have solution. We need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of these 2 minus root 8. So that becomes 5 plus root 2 into 2 plus root 8 all over 2 minus root 8 into 2 plus root 8. So in this case, we can expand this out. 5 times 2 will give us 10. Then 5 times root 8 will give us plus 5 root 8. Then root 2 times 2 will give us plus 2 root 2. Then root 2 times root 8 will give us plus root 8 root 2. Then all over, we have 2 squared minus root 8 squared. So here, we can simplify this. This becomes 10 plus, we have 5 root 8. 5 root 8 is the same thing as 5 times root 4 times root 4. Or 5 times 4 times 2. 5 times root 4 times 2, because 8 is 4 times 2. So this will become 5 times root 4 times root 2, because we can split this into its root. So that means we have 5 times root 4 is 2 times root 2. This is the same thing as 10 root 2. So we are going to replace this in this place. So here will become 10 plus 10 root 2. That is for this place. Then we have plus 2 root 2. Then we have here 8. Simplifying this, root 8 root 2 is the same thing as root 4 times 2 times root 2. This is the same thing as root 4 times root 2 times root 2. Root 4 here is 2 times root 2 times root 2 is 2. So this is the same thing as 2 times 2, which is 4. So the whole of this place is 4 plus 4. So all over, we have here 4. Then here is root 8 times root 8 is 8. So this is what we have. So collecting like terms here, we have, when we collect like terms, it's going to be 10 plus 4, which is 14. So we have 10 root 2 plus 2 root 2 is going to be plus 12 root 2. All over, we have 4 minus 8 gives us minus 4. So in this case, we can divide all through by 2. 2 will cancel here 2. 2 will cancel here 7. 2 will cancel here 6. We are now left with 7 plus 6 root 2 all over minus 2. So this is the answer to this. For us to rationalize this sort, we have this. So the next one is, so the last one, which is number 12, says show that 5 plus 2 root 3 all over 2 plus root 3 can be written as 4 minus root 3. 4 minus root 3. So now, anytime we have this, if we say simplify this sort, all what will come to our mind is for us to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. The conjugate of the denominator, as we said, which we have 2 plus root 3, is what we are going to change the sign between the two numbers, which is 2 minus root 3. So this is the conjugate of this. So what we are going to do, we have solution. What we are going to do, we have 5 plus 2 root 3 all over 2 plus root 3. So we multiply the numerator and the denominator by this conjugate, which is, this is 2 minus root 3. Then we have 2 minus root 3. So this is what we have. This is a product of difference of 2 squares. And when we expand this will become 5 times 2, we have 10. We have 5 times minus root 3, we have minus 5 root 3. So we have 2 root 3 times 2 will give us plus 4 root 3, because 2 times 2 is 4, then times root 3. That's why we have this. Then 2 root 3 times minus root 3 will give us minus 2. Root 3 times root 3 will give us times 3 all over difference of 2 squares. We can expand it out in the sense that we have 2 times 2, we have 4. We have 2 times minus root 3, we have minus 2 root 3. Then we have root 3 times 2, we have plus 2 root 3. Then we have root 3 times minus root 3 is going to be minus root 3 root 3. Root 3 root 3 is 3. So that will become, here we can multiply this, become 6. Then collecting like 10 minus 6 will give us 4. So we have here minus 5 plus 4 will give us minus 1. So it's going to be minus 1 root 3. Then minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. We've done that. So here we cannot write minus 1 root 3. So it's going to be minus root 3 all over. This one will cancel here. We are now left with 4. Then here minus root 3 times root 3 is going to give us minus 3. So in this case, we have here 4 minus root 3 all over. This is 4 minus 3, which is 1. We all know that this all over 1 is the same thing as 4 minus root 3. So this is the answer. And we have seen that to simplify this, 5 plus 2 root 3 all over 2 plus root 3 gives us this. And we ask that we should write it in this form, which is 4 minus root 3. And this is what we have. If you like what we are doing here, follow us on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comments, and share our video for more interesting topics. Thank you.